Whether you in a car, room, office, or tomb, Myron in the
got the
morning got to
fantasy
talk for all the
playoffs here,
news. Sports
everything
talking.
good.
Fantasy
We talking
playoffs,
sports
boys.
talking.
Let's
I'm
get
thinking
it.
Brady gonna play
Let's
any
get it,
key.
man. Glad to be back. D. Schwa had a nice little birthday bye week last week, but we are in full effect. Got us off a W. Playoff time
Sure.
now.
Locked in the 4 seed. Unfortunately, I have to play one of the other best teams in the league. Was hoping to get that 3 seed and get a little bit of an easier matchup, but hey, it's do or die time. It's playoff time. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So
Yeah.
get it.
You got to play him eventually anyway, right? So,
Exactly.
the name of the game is just getting there. We got there. My game, just like you, predicted to play one of the better teams. Right now, its projections are not it. 50-50, 133 to 133.
Same.
Going to be great. I'm so geeked. Let's get into it, though. Injury reports. Breaking news.
Bad. Yeah, D-Hop out for the year. A lot of playoff teams probably hurting for that. Hopefully you had a bye. You got Christian Kirk or some other good receivers because that's tough. It also probably boosts Kyler's stock down a little bit.
Yeah, definitely boost Kyler's stock down a little bit. Not too much, but you love James Conner's stock now. Definitely think they'll probably run more.
If
But
he's healthy, he got injured in that
if
last play.
he did get
so-
injured last play, if he's healthy, you got to love it. And then AJ Green, Christian Kirk, and Rondale Moore could honestly see a lot more targets because he'll be a lot more in that slot because they might move Kirk out wide now. I think Rondale Moore is actually a sneaky pickup who's probably actually available in most leagues. I assume AJ Green's rostered.
I think he is for a reason, though. Rondale Moore's average yards per target is 1.26 yards.
Yeah,
so
it's
he's
not good.
Getting down the field. He is going to get some more opportunities, so that's what you need. But it's boom or bust. So if you're going to play him, you're hoping for a big game, but don't be surprised if you get a dud.
Yeah, more injuries we got. We got Aaron Jones questionable along
Josh
with
Allen,
Darren Waller, Josh
Lamar
Allen,
Jackson,
L. Jack, Jalen
DeAndre
Hurts.
Swift maybe coming back. We don't
Man,
know.
it's
And
tough.
you throw COVID in there, man.
Whole teams are losing. Rams have shut down their facilities.
Browns.
Bears had 12. Browns had 12 guys. Not ideal for Week 15 in playoffs, but
No.
that means you got to look at some newcomers. You need some new guys to pick up the slack and carry it for you.
And how about Rashad Penny? I mean, I know it was against the Houston Texans, but that's finally the first round pick that Seattle was hoping they got when they drafted him a few years ago.
Yeah, I don't know who's happier, the Seattle Seahawks owners or the fantasy owners. Both of us have been waiting for this Rashad Penny to break out. We knew he had it in him, and it was exceptional to see this game. If you're a Rashad Penny owner, I was in the beginning of the season, but I gave up hope. One league I kept him in, and I think that he's honestly a possible play now.
Playing the Rams, so it's going to be tough. But we did just see James Conner run all over him a little bit. They were a little more susceptible to the pass. I am a little worried, though, because we know Seattle is known to give up sacks, and their O-line isn't the best. Russell's going to be running for his life for sure.
And you said it. They played the Houston Texans, so let's not get too excited. It's going to be a whole almost level up when you go play the Rams next week. But fantastic game. I love what I saw from them. AK to God is back. Alvin Kamara had himself a day for the New Orleans Saints. I love what he did out there. I know Taysom Hill did as well.
Yeah, similar to the Rashad Penny. I mean, AK is a completely different player, but he played the Jets, and now he has to go play the best run defense in the league in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday night. Now, they are able to use AK in the passing game a lot more, but I do think that's limited with Taysom Hill. So if the Bucs sell out to stop the run and say, hey, Taysom, you got to beat us with your arm, I don't know how much AK is going to be a factor. You still got to play him, but
it's tough because you still must play him.
Kind of like my boy JT.
I was going to say your boy JT. It's a tough matchup, but you got to play him against New England. I also love what I saw finally from another receiver in Green Bay. What's up, Alan Lazard, Iowa State Cyclone grad?
Yeah, I definitely like to see that. And with Randall Cobb out for a couple more games.
Yeah.
Lazard's going to be a more part of that offense. He's not the deep vertical threat that Marquise Valdez-Scantling is, but that's not what you need him for. You need him to catch the 6 balls for 70 yards. If he finds a touchdown, that's even better, right? And we know Rodgers is playing about as well as he has in his whole career. So you got to feel pretty good if you're starting a part of that Green Bay offense.
100%. And I mean, speaking of 6 catches, 70+ yards, I got to talk about a guy who we noted a couple of weeks ago could see an upgrade in stock, but has now become a wide receiver 1 in almost every league. Hunter Renfrow with the Las Vegas Raiders. Oh my goodness.
The guy's been incredible.
Yeah.
100% a PPR wide receiver one. Even standard scoring, he's starting wide
his
receiver.
floor is so good. I mean, I don't understand. I know we talked about it. Possible, like, hey guys, pick him up after the Ruggs incident. Now he's a must start. If you didn't pick him up, you missed out on a receiver, because he can change a fantasy team right now. I mean, think about if you picked up Hunter Renfrow and now you just lost D Hopkins.
Oh, I saw a stat. He has more PPR points than like DK Metcalf, CD Lamb, these really big name wide receivers.
Yeah.
And it's just Hunter Renfrow. You know, we saw him at Clemson just kind of running these short routes. Third and Renfrow is what they call him. But he's a guy you start in fantasy 100% with confidence.
100%. You got to talk about our running backs that have been so consistent for us all season. Much of the same. Lenny Fournette.
Lenny Fournette is, I mean, this is what the Jaguars were hoping they got when they drafted him, you know, over Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara. The list goes on for that.
The list goes on.
Class. But he's finally showing why he was so good at LSU and why he was so, you know, highly ranked coming out of college.
Now he has a quarterback with some receivers and not 10 guys in the box.
It definitely takes a little pressure off when you got the greatest of all time standing next to you. You got to respect him because he's playing, again, just about as good as he has in his whole career. MVP frontrunner, Tom Brady. Got to give him a shout out. Chris Godwin's playing great. Antonio Brown probably not coming back. We don't know. That situation's a little murky there. Mike Evans still doing Mike Evans things. And how about Rob Gronkowski? He looks like prime Gronk.
Prime Gronk. I'm pissed because he's beat me in so many fantasy leagues late this season, just ruining me. I can't stand it. I wish he would retire again. Not a fan of Gronk this season. But guys that have had a little flash of greatness lately, I really want to see if we're all in on these guys. I want to start off with the LA Rams flex receiver, Van Jefferson. 4 to 5 straight weeks at 8 to 7 targets a game. Of course, last week he didn't get it, but 3 straight weeks with a touchdown. I think Van Jefferson could be a flex play now.
Yeah, shout out Berkshire Middle School, you know, a year younger than me, while his dad was the receivers coach in Detroit. When Robert Woods went down, we kind of brought him up like, hey, watch out for Van Jefferson. You know, he's in the offense. He's got to kind of step up now. But it was the same time that Odell was coming in. So it was a little unclear on what was going to happen. They wanted to get Odell involved, and Odell's looked great. He scored in 3 straight games. Unfortunately, he does have COVID now, so if he doesn't play, Van Jefferson's a must start.
He's a must start. You hit the nail on the head. I love the what you've seen out of Van. He just seems like, besides Cooper Kupp, he's always open for Matt Stafford. He's a guy that's working the middle of the field. I love what I'm seeing from him. And T. Higgins, another consistent week.
He's been so good, man. I mean, you really think, okay, Jamar Chase is catching all the touchdowns, but T. Higgins is getting you the production. And for fantasy purposes, T. Higgins is a really good wide receiver. He's probably right on that Jamar Chase tier. I don't think he has the boom potential that Jamar Chase has because there's so many mouths to feed and they're running the ball so well. But you got to feel good about T. Higgins because Joe Burrow's playing so well.
I agree. He's been playing nice, and Jamar Chase is still Jamar Chase. I don't think you have any fears there.
Yeah.
That Denver backfield, what are you seeing over there?
Man, they look scary. I mean, we saw the Javonte Williams kind of breakout game when Melvin Gordon couldn't play. And then last week, they both played great, playing the Lions. So pump the brakes a little bit. But, hey, Melvin Gordon has been fantastic all year. He's scored 7 touchdowns in like 7 straight years or something. He joined some elite company. Javonte Williams getting more involved. It's tough because, you know, they're sharing carries, but they're both getting enough work where you feel okay starting them.
Yeah, Sam Nathan drafted Melvin Gordon. Our entire league clowned him. Like, you're insane for drafting Melvin Gordon. And the guy's had a hell of a year, been extremely productive.
Absolutely.
And he's a must start, even with Javonte Williams being as good as he is. Melvin's still getting his production, and I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because the receivers in Denver have been
ice cold. Yeah, I saw Cortland Sutton got cut in my league.
He got cut in my league as well. Yeah, and I traded him for Keenan Allen, so
let's made out like a fat cat.
Absolutely. So that was a big one. What about your boy Clyde Edwards? He had a touchdown. He didn't look great, but he got enough work. He got the red zone carry. Darrell Williams obviously still a part of that Chiefs offense.
Yeah.
But you got to feel pretty good about where Clyde's at right now, especially with that Chiefs offense kind of humming.
Yeah, you like where he's at. It's definitely risky in the playoff times right now where the volume is the concern you see out of Clyde Edwards based on other running backs who may get the 18 to 20 carries with less production. Him getting 50% of the
10 to
snaps,
13.
10 to 13 carries, that does kind of scare you, but he is an end zone magnet when he's healthy. So I think you may have to take the risk at the flex spot. I'm just not sure if he's the running back 2 that you thought he was going to be coming into the season, though.
Right. And then we finally got a little life from Saquon Barkley.
Finally, is not much to cheer about over there in New York at all from either team.
Well, when Mike Glennon's your starter, it's pretty tough.
But Saquon finally had a good game, and I hope he slows down as I have him this week in my fantasy matchup. So
I'm playing against him too. So
yeah, feel free to take a chill pill, go back
Micah
to your normal
Parsons.
stuff.
Hopefully you follow him everywhere he goes, because Micah Parsons right now is, in my mind, Defensive Player of the Year, and he has that Dallas defense, at the tops of the league.
Top of the league. And weird thing I want to talk about with the waiver wire pickups, I don't talk about it much, but defense and kickers are key when it becomes playoff time. These are 1-point, 2-point decision games, and there are some defenses that I think should be targeted based on matchups this week. I just found myself picking up the Philadelphia Eagles despite tough weeks. They got the Washington Redskins football team this week.
Yeah, no, I like the Eagles matchups coming up. I picked up the 49ers in my league. They play Atlanta. I think they play like Houston or someone next week. So
yeah.
I like the schedule. So if you haven't had the chance to pick up a defense or kind of look forward
to that next week too. Yeah,
definitely need to. I got a question because I got Tyler Bass. I'm a little worried about the Buffalo weather. He's been consistent, but I don't know because they do play some bad teams. So you got to think they're going to score points, but they play like 3 games at home. So that's my only concern right now.
Yeah, I saw 2 of the next 3 at home. This week at home against Carolina, I saw a lot of wind on the schedule. I got lucky and found Nick Folk somehow on the waiver wire because someone was scared of the questionable tag he's had all season, so I got lucky and picked up Nick Folk. But I agree, I'm gonna bench Tyler Bass until next week when he's on the road, but in the dome. I'll start him again next week. But that's a big thing to look at is these winter games, these Bills receivers, Bills kickers. Honestly, the Bills defense, it might get cold up there and could be a ground and pound type of game.
Yeah, like we said, luckily they do have a softer schedule than what they have had, and they have to win right now. We finally got a little bit of a life from them at the end of the Buccaneers game where they almost won. They almost, they should have won.
Yeah, should have won.
But yeah, hopefully the Bills kind of turn it on a little bit. I think I might ride with my guy Tyler Bass. I don't love the options on the wire right now, and I do think the Bills are going to be able to score against Carolina, but definitely going to keep an eye on that weather in there, because if we get another,
40-mile wind,
the Patriots game, I can't do that.
Yeah, that was upsetting. You can't start that shit again.
One more guy I got to talk to you about, who I started last week, got lucky with a nice little bomb, KJ Osborne. If Thielen doesn't play, you riding out KJ Osborne again?
Yeah, number 1 on the waiver wire target list. I think Osborne's a start. I want to even say with Thielen healthy, he is a start, but that's a little stretchy. But no,
it's
Thielen,
tough because they
only
really played 2 receivers.
Yeah.
And I know D.D. Westbrook's out, so if Thielen doesn't play, it's going to be Jefferson and Osborne all game. And
you gotta like Osborne. He's had some signs of greatness this week. So I think he's a solid play, but you are on the more of the boom or bust. A waiver wire pickup that has a solid floor is a guy like Russell Gage for the Atlanta Falcons. Finally, Atlanta has a receiver catching some passes.
Yeah, he's really stepped up in the absence of Ridley. We don't know if Ridley's coming back or not. It doesn't sound like he will, even though Atlanta is kind of in the playoff hunt right now. That NFC is wide open. I think the football team is in the 6 or 7 seed. The Niners are right there. It's like 9 wins might get you in the playoffs, and Atlanta still got Detroit coming up. So I don't know if that's going to factor into Ridley's availability, if he's thinking like, okay, I need to come back and help my team a little bit, or if he's still struggling with some stuff. So just keep an eye on that. But I like Russell Gage. I think he's been really solid.
I agree. And Philadelphia off of a bye week. How do you feel about a guy like Boston Scott? They've shown a lot of favoritism to him over the last few weeks.
Yeah, he definitely gets the goal line carries, which is what you like to see. I think the question mark there is Jalen Hurts starting or is Minshew starting? Because they're able to do so much more on the ground when they have Jalen Hurts. Minshew's a good passer, so they're going to be able to stretch the field out a little bit more, get Goddard, get Devontae Smith involved. And with Miles Sanders healthy, it's a little tough to start.
It's tough to start Boston.
But Miles hasn't scored all year. So I don't know if you're starting Miles Sanders either. Maybe just a backfield you avoid.
It's tough. It could be a backfield you avoid. It is leaning like Jalen Hurts is going to play off the bye week. He said he'll be out there, but always comes down to the coach. And players always say they're going to play. So we're kind of interested to see how that goes. Last player I want to talk about, another receiver with some possibilities here. Ross St. Brown, Armand, my dude out of Detroit.
He's been good,
but can you trust it?
I think the floor is there enough. If Hawkinson doesn't play, I mean, he's going to be involved.
Yeah,
I don't think Arizona is like, locked down where you're not going to be able to catch any balls. So he's going to get the looks, especially if Swift doesn't play again. Like, it's tough to start players on bad teams. Yeah. I try to avoid that, but sometimes you can muck it up a little bit and roll out a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown who's going to get 5 to 10 targets. He's going to get 5 to 10 catches.
It's going to be interesting, guys. I hope you guys hit the waiver wires hard this week. Look at those defensive matchups. And like I said, a lot of receivers hurt right now and a lot of people questionable. So check your lineups. You do not want to be that guy who forgot to play a player like Dalvin Cook last week because you didn't check your lineup in the morning to see that he was active.
And don't forget, we got Saturday games.
So watch out.
Make sure you're staying on top.
Be on the lookout. We start off tomorrow with the Chargers and the Chiefs. So some great Thursday night football action. Good old-fashioned green light game. Curious, though, on the Chargers' second receiver. You don't know if you're going to get Mike Williams this week. You don't know if you're going to get Keenan Allen this week. I think he is going to be active.
Yes.
So
Eckler's questionable, but it looks like he's going to play. He practiced today.
Yeah.
The one question mark is Chris Jones is out for the Chiefs on defense. So we don't know if that's going to open up some running lanes for the Chargers. However, their great rookie, Rashawn Slater, left tackle, is out. So that could open up some things for Frank Clark to get to Justin Herbert and make him uncomfortable.
So are you starting a guy like Mike Williams playoff time? He's had a decent week last week, but there was no Keenan Allen. Now you got Keenan Allen back. Guyton has had 2 back-to-back scary weeks of 15-plus fantasy points and a touchdown. There's a lot going on there in LAC. Oh, yeah.
That touchdown was
– my God.
Oh, my God. He took a hit, too, and just put it 68 yards on the money.
On the money, dude.
I don't know. Mike Williams is a guy where if you feel confident in his boom or bust ability, you roll him out as your wide receiver 2 or 3. If you have other guys where you think there's a safer floor, I'd probably go that route because this is playoff time. This is make or break. And a guy like Mike Williams that is going to get you maybe 2 points, maybe 20 points.
Yeah.
You get 2 points, you're losing that matchup.
And that sounds weird to say, but on Thursday, for me, something about it means so much more, those 2 points. Like, to go into Saturday and Sunday with the receiver that I play that got me 2 fantasy points, for some reason, hurts so much more than a guy getting me 2 points on Sunday. Doesn't make any sense, but I swear it hurts more.
Yeah, I think
it's not good for the morale.
Better, even if he goes off on your bench, because it is a Thursday night. So you're not feeling like, I shouldn't have benched this guy. You still got your whole week ahead of you.
Got a whole week ahead of me. I agree.
But that's going to be a tough decision for some Mike Williams owners.
It's going to be very tough. Good luck, but I'm loving the plays in the Kansas City Chiefs. If you got a running back 3 or flex spot, you're going to play Clyde, and hopefully Kelsey's healthy. If he's healthy, you're playing him. You can't bench
I know, but he just hasn't looked great the last couple of weeks.
He hasn't at all, but it's Travis Kelce.
Exactly.
You drafted him in the second round or the first for this reason. As you told me last week, play your guys, play your money.
You play your studs, absolutely. Play Tyreek Hill. Don't worry about those guys.
Nope.
Saturday night football. I love this night game, but let's talk about Raiders-Browns first.
COVID Central. Hopefully, if the game gets canceled, sorry, fantasy owners, it doesn't look like there's going to be some remake for you. So hopefully the game doesn't get canceled.
Yeah, they could push it. We saw some games get pushed to like Tuesday last year. That's something they could do. Stefanski out, probably. Baker out. Jarvis Landry out. Kareem Hunt got injured. So it seems like it's going to be the Nick Chubb show.
And Josh Jacobs show. Yeah, just play the running backs. I mean, if you got all these quarterbacks hurt, you play them. Carr's healthy, so Renfrow's definitely a start. And those are the 3 guys I like in that matchup.
Waller if he plays, but we'll see. I don't know if he practiced today or not. He didn't practice on Tuesday. So just keep an eye on that, especially, like we said, Saturday game. It's something you got to monitor. You don't want to leave him in your lineup or leave a Foster Moreau in your lineup, and then he gives you a dud.
Because you decide to go out and get shit-faced too early and you didn't check your damn lineup. Don't do that. And then the next Saturday game could be a whatever. You don't know. It could be a great game or it could be a nasty Bill Belichick game that he likes and they win in some field goals. you got the New England Patriots and Indianapolis Colts. It isn't a dome. So I
AFC
love
implications,
the
big
play.
playoff implications here.
This is big.
I think this is a game where you don't know if it's going to be high scoring or not. We're guessing no because both defenses are pretty good. On the Patriots side, I don't even know who you're starting.
I'm not touching this. Probably no one. I think the only play in this entire game I like is Jonathan Taylor. Mac Jones in the 2-quarterback league has been getting it done for you besides the 45-mile-an-hour win
besides
game.
Besides the 3 pass game.
Yeah, besides that game, he's been decent for you in a 2-quarterback leagues, but Jonathan Taylor's my only safe, confident play, and even he could disappoint you.
Yeah, absolutely, but you're not going to bench Jonathan Taylor. He's running back 1. Are you worried about a guy like Michael Pittman who's going to probably have J.C. Jackson on him?
Yeah, I'm not starting those receivers in this game. I just, for some reason, I have a feeling that Bill's going to make it as nasty and ugly and as slow as possible. I wouldn't be shocked if we get like a 15-9 game, just something weird from the Patriots.
Yeah, I think Bill's going to obviously, we know he likes to take out their best player, so I think he's going to try to make Carson beat him in the air, and we don't know what Carson we're going to get. So
yeah,
be cautious.
1 o'clock Sunday. Got a little divisional play, a little division matchup here. Cowboys and the New York football team. I love all the plays on Dallas here. CD Lamb, despite this off week, I'm still playing him with all confidence this week.
Cooper finally looked healthy.
Gallup, even Cooper, I think are both plays again.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a little worried if I have Zeke though. So
no Tony Pollard. No Tony though. So you think Zeke's good?
Well, last week there was no Tony and Corey Clement, shout out Wisconsin, out-touched Zeke. So
Jerry said we're playing for the next playoffs. We're playing for the playoffs.
Honestly, I'm guessing if you had Zeke, you might not be in the playoffs anyway.
Yeah.
Just because that's kind of the season that he's had. It's been very up and down, very inconsistent. Again, you're playing your studs, you're playing Zeke just because of the name, but it's scary because the volume's just not there right now, and he's clearly hurt.
In New York, I'm not touching the single player besides Saquon.
Yeah.
Sterling Shepard, you piss me off enough with your questionable tags every week. I'm not messing with you.
No.
Houston and Jags. Don't be fooled by this defensive matchup request on your fantasy league. Don't touch either of those defenses because you don't know how the hell this game is going to go.
Besides James Robinson, I don't know if you're touching any of the offenses.
Yeah, I'm letting this sit. I'm not liking this game.
This could be like a 34-31 game that's like high scoring, no defense, but I still, fantasy-wise, you don't feel confident starting anyone on Houston. And even James Robinson got like 0.4. Like, it's a shit show over there. Yeah. Urban Meyer is kicking his kickers, calling everyone losers. So that's a tough
stay away
to be in.
Yeah, stay off of that game, guys, for real. Titans traveling to Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh needs it.
A must-win game for the Steelers.
At home.
Fantasy-wise, you don't love the fantasy matchups here. I mean, the return of Julio Jones as he led them in targets, gave you 56 yards. So he hasn't been exceptional as you thought.
Backfield.
The running back, they're splitting carries. Hiller did not have a rebound, second great game like he did the first week.
Been okay.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, I love Najee Harris. I love Deontay Johnson and Claypool. Boomer bust.
Claypool's been okay. I'm a little concerned after his shenanigans that happened on Thursday night. Tomlin could just easily bench him.
Again.
But I also think Tomlin could be like, you get out there and you produce, and he could have a huge game. So Claypool is a guy kind of like Mike Williams where you know what you're getting when you put him in your lineup. It's boom or bust.
How about Muth? How about your boy Pat? I think the targets are low. Targets are low, so it kind of scares you, but the guy's been fine in the end zone.
Yeah, I think you're probably riding with your boy Muth because he's been carrying you for the past couple of weeks. Big Ben likes to throw to him. Reports out of Pittsburgh is that they might go a little bit more up tempo, a little no huddle, which would be good for my boy Najee. I'd like to see that.
Jets and the Dolphins.
I love the Dolphins in this one, but they have no running backs. I think Ahmed, Gaskin, and Philip Lindsay are all out with
all
COVID.
of them are out with COVID. Yeah, this is not a game you love on fantasy. I mean, if Michael Carter is going to be healthy, then you play him. After that, Elijah Moore's done, so you can't go that route. There's really not many options here in this game. This could be a lot like the
Jets. You're playing Waddle. I think Waddle's gonna have a big game, and Tua might be like a two-quarterback league.
Possibly. I don't know.
Yeah,
Gesicki's hurt
I'm
you a
fine with
couple of times
Gesicki.
this season. He's been a
He's
guy who's gotten the targets, but the yardage hasn't been there sometimes. So just depends on what Miami team you get. You know, you could have if you got Pat, you got Muth, and you got Gesicki,
that was my question. What do you think?
which I have. I'm leaning more, I think, towards Muth because of the touchdown comfortability that I have there.
Yeah, I would probably say so. But Gesicki, hey, he's one big play waiting to happen. So he could definitely take one, 50 yards to the house like we've seen before.
The way I look at it, Muth won't probably lose you a fantasy game.
Right.
He probably won't win you one either, but he probably won't lose you one. Gesicki could either
go either
win
way.
or lose you a fantasy game with a effing goose egg or 15, 16 fantasy points in the tight end spot, and you love him.
The one problem I have with Gesicki, and this is so stupid, it has nothing to do with fantasy, but
This is great.
Matt Collins wears 86, and every time he catches
Every
the ball,
time.
I think it's 88, and I think it's Gesicki, and it throws me off.
Red Zone does every time. Like Gesicki for a touchdown.
That was Matt Collins.
It was not him. It was Matt Collins. Can't stand it.
Come on, guys. Someone's got to change their number.
Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles. This is another tough one. I mean, I do like Jalen Hurts.
We don't know what Hurts
is back.
Terry's status is. So that's a little questionable. Washington's a team like Gibson didn't look great last week. If he plays,
you gotta play him.
You're playing him. But Washington, if no Terry, you're only starting Gibson, really.
Yeah, I'm not trusting any of the
Curtis
receivers.
Samuel, I'm not DeAndre Carter, Humphreys. You just can't. They're not getting you enough production, especially if Kyle Allen's under center.
Yeah. I think Gibson's the only safe play when you go across the street to Philly. Just Jalen Hurts is only competent play. Devonta
Smith. I don't think
so.
But
he went downhill since the last 4 weeks.
I do think Goddard is a fine play. He's kind of in that Gesicki, Freiermuth tier.
Yeah.
But I do think Goddard's at least got a higher floor than those two other guys.
They had the Jets last week, so the Jets just decided not to check them.
Well, Minshew is awesome.
Yeah, so you don't really know what you're going to get. This could be another tough one here, but we do slide into a very healthy fantasy game for the Arizona Cardinals owners. They got the Detroit Lions, and what a day for Christian Kirk to have himself a coming out party. He's my favorite play this week. I think he has himself a day against the Lions.
I agree. I'm glad I have him in my work league because I lost 5 in a row. Limped into the playoffs there. And with the Odell news, he's not going to play. So I got Christian Kirk on the bench waiting for him to have a big game against Detroit. Chase Edmonds should be coming back. However, I don't know if you're playing him yet.
It's the Lions, so you want to say yes? It's the Lions.
I say no. If there's no James Conner and Edmonds, the running back, you can start him.
Yeah, I mean.
And just big bounce back game for Kyler.
Yeah, I think James Conner's going to play is looking like. They say he didn't practice today, but he's expected to do a walkthrough tomorrow. But if Edmonds is healthy, I think against the Lions, I think he's a play. I guess most teams, I'd say, hey, wait to see what you get from him. But they're playing the Lions. So I feel like Edmonds has a really good chance of finding the end zone or Conner, whichever running back's back there. And if they're both healthy, I think they'll both find the end zone with no DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah,
the only concern you'd have is, all right, they get up early. They don't want Edmonds to get re-injured. They even don't want James Conner to get re-injured. And you just get like Benjamin or some, random guy they pull it off the street in Detroit, off Brush Street.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
For two touchdowns. On the Detroit side, if Swift plays, you got to play him. I'm probably not going to play Hawkinson, though.
I'm not liking Hawkinson or St. Brown, despite how much we just talked about the possibility of picking up St. Brown. Pick him up does not mean start him. Don't think
maybe Jamal Williams if there's no Swift. Maybe just because you're going to get 20 to 25 touches.
Yeah, he's on COVID protocols. He's supposed to be off of them come Sunday, but again, who knows?
Yeah, Detroit's got nobody.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough. And Carolina-Buffalo rounds out the 1 o'clock matchup. In Carolina, in Buffalo, so this could be a very cold, windy game.
It'll be a bad weather game. Do you want to apologize for Cam again?
No, I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing for Cam.
Man, that's tough there because
he has no McCaffrey, so everything has changed.
You're starting DJ Moore, but you don't feel great about it.
No, you got to start DJ because he's helped you out a lot this season early. But yeah, with Cam, and you think Walker's going to get the rest of the shares at quarterback. Not a great wide receiver play. And on the other side of the ball, Stephon Diggs has been up and down, and you don't know what you're going to get out of Gabriel Davis or Sanders, depending on who shows up.
Yeah, if someone's not healthy and Gabriel Davis gets a little bit of an increased role, I like him, but I don't know if I like him for a fantasy playoff matchup. Maybe like a daily fantasy play or something like that, or a stash for next week or something. And then the backfield's a little questionable too. I think Devin
Backfield
Singletary is
scares
the
me.
guy, but again, you don't know who's going to get the carries. You don't know who's going to get the goal line work. There's 3 running backs there. It's tough to really roll out a guy like that.
Yeah, no, the backfield here scares me. A lot of 1 o'clock scaries, so that's how you know this is going to be a hell of a fantasy week because there's so many games where you don't love your matchup. So
no, but a lot of 4 o'clock games where you got a lot of good fantasy players. Starting off with Cincinnati and Denver. We talked about that Cincy offense, but it's a tough game in Denver.
Denver defense
altitude,
is nice.
But I think you're still starting your boys. You're starting Mixon, obviously, and
Just
Chase and T. Higgins have done enough where you're starting them.
I agree. All 3 of those are starts plus Joe Burrow, of course. And you look at Denver, you like the running backfield, but that is literally it. I am not touching the receivers, and
I'm probably
Bridgewater has not been what we thought he was going to be. And Noah Fant, I think his production is due to the lack of production from Teddy Bridgewater. So the running backs you got to love in this scenario because they could find themselves in a tight matchup. And after that, I think you stay away on Denver, kind of beware.
Atlanta going to the 49ers. 49ers look hot right now. They had a great win against Cincinnati last week in Cincinnati. George Kittle is the best tight end in the league right now. Deebo Samuel's a running back, and they're probably getting Elijah Mitchell back.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel's literally the ATH athlete on college football when you're recruiting. That's Deebo Samuel, the guy does it all. If he's healthy, you play him. Brandon Ayuk, we talked about him a lot this year. He's finally stepping into that role.
Yep.
I think he could be a play. Don't need to talk about George Kittle. The running backs, though, Jeffrey Wilson has not stepped into that role like we thought he would as the main guy with all the injuries surrounding him. Elijah Mitchell, if he's healthy, I think you got to play him.
Yeah, we hear it a lot. When you get your opportunity, you really got to do something with it and kind of run with it. But Jeff Wilson has gotten the opportunity and unfortunately hasn't kind of taken advantage of it. And it sounds like Elijah Mitchell is going to be coming back, and that's the guy you want to start. On the other side of the ball, it's got to be tough to try to start Kyle Pitts. Russell Gage is a guy we talked about who you kind of feel comfortable with if it's in a deep league, 3 wide receivers. And then Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, I actually do like Russell Gage this week. I think they're going to get a lot of quarterback pressure. You're going to see a lot of Bosa back there. So a lot of short throws. You might get a lot of drag routes and cross routes from Russell Gage. He could have a big target game. Not sure if he'll find the end zone because Atlanta's not that great, but you can always count on Cordell Patterson.
Oh, absolutely. He's been so good. Now, what about the next game? Seahawks at the Rams. Rams coming off a huge win. Could be a letdown spot. Seahawks, 2 winners of 2 straight. Russell finally looks healthy again, making throws that we know Russell Wilson's able to make.
But now he gets to go play one of the toughest defenses in football, which is not ideal for a team that struggled with an offensive line all year. But fantasy-wise, you must play the guys, DK and Ty. You got to play them both. Rashad Penny is a flex option, I believe, this week, even though the Rams are a good run D. They're going to have to run the ball to create for Russell Wilson. So I think Rashad Penny gets the volume that you're looking for, but don't expect what you saw last week.
I agree. And I'm probably kind of like Zeke. I'm thinking if you had DK Metcalf, you probably didn't make the playoffs either. But Tyler Lockett's a guy you're starting. And if you have DK, you got to start him because you start your studs. I mean, DK was getting looks last week. I think he had a touchdown call back on a flag. He had a PI in the end zone. So they're definitely trying to get him more involved as they were previous weeks. They definitely want to get him involved in the offense.
And then for the Rams, whichever running back's healthy, I think is the go-to guy. Sony or Henderson both have done great. Receivers, Cooper Kupp. But I like Van Jefferson this week. I think he's a good flex
especially
play.
Odell's out.
Odell's out. And if you were bit by the injury bug with your receivers, I think Van could be a solid spot against this Seahawks defense that is one of the worst secondaries in football.
Yeah. And I do think the Seahawks, though, are going to be able to put up points because we talked about this COVID issue going around the Rams. We don't know who they're going to have available. Is Jalen Ramsey going to be back? Are they going to be missing, more starters? So it sounds like there's some issues going on in LA right now, health-wise. And hopefully, we just get a good, clean game.
Packers and Ravens, if Lamar Jackson suits up, this is a green light
Game of
game
the week,
that I
it does.
absolutely love. Game of the week. Everyone is a fantasy option, I believe, on this game. As far as the Packers, you obviously Devontae and Jones, but AJ Dillon has been a scare and he's been solid. Aaron Jones is not getting the volume that you want, but he's such a consistent play in the red zone. That they need him. I think that they kind of just play him based off the score.
Yeah, we saw, Aaron Jones scored 2 last week, 1 in the air, 1 on the ground, but he didn't get the volume that you kind of want. AJ Dillon's vulturing those carries and kind of doing the dirty work and then bringing in Aaron Jones to score the touchdown. So it's tough to start either of those guys. If one of them sits out, you obviously feel better starting them. But no Marlon Humphrey on the Ravens after he got injured. I think Aaron Rodgers might try to tear this secondary up.
Got a tough start sit question for you. Who you like, Clyde Edwards or Aaron Jones?
Man, that's tough. Ooh. I don't know. I would probably lean towards Aaron Jones just because of that offense.
Yeah.
And like we talked about Thursday night, they're always ugly games. Thursday night games can be low scoring. There's a lot of injuries. So I think you try to get more people involved.
Too.
You get Darrell Williams some carries and Clyde's going to split some carries. So I'd probably lean towards Aaron Jones in that one.
I agree. Your boy ends off the 4 p.m. matchups, the Bucks and the Saints. Sorry,
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Sir. Brady prime time. One thing you got to monitor though, Mike Evans, Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore has kind of had Mike Evans' number in his career. They've played, I think, 7-8 times, and Lattimore's gotten the best of him most of those times. We saw it earlier in the year this year, so I think it's going to be a big Chris Godwin game.
Yeah, perfect. I hope he sits down on him. Huge Chris Godwin day. The guy's been receiving 10 targets a game the last 3 weeks. Guy's a must play. You love Gronk, what he's been giving you. For Tutty Lenny, you got to play him. Yep. And then for the Saints, it gets scary.
Kamara,
Taysom Hill.
Do you play Taysom?
I think you can play Taysom Hill in a 2-quarterback league. He's going to run for a touchdown. I'm sure of it.
100%.
I don't know. Besides him and Kamara, I don't know where else you can go.
No, I don't know either. And it's so weird because I've never seen a quarterback be, so below average in the actual NFL, but be so good fantasy-wise. Taysom Hill is not an NFL quarterback, but he is a QB1 in fantasy.
Yeah, he's been so efficient. His running game really opens up for fantasy owners. I mean, Jalen Hurts was the QB1 in fantasy football, and he's not even a top 15 quarterback in football.
And people are still worried about him throwing the ball.
People are worried if he's going to be the quarterback next season. He's a QB1 in fantasy this year. So I love it. It's going to be a good Sunday night game. You don't go against Brady in prime time. I think he is been QB1 all season, and you start him this game. I don't care who your other quarterback option is.
MVP. I mean, I've had a league where it's a 1-quarterback league. I've had Kyler and Tom Brady, and it's every week I'm kind of asking myself, who do I start? Because, you get that kind of extra element with Kyler with his legs, but Brady's just so good, man. And they're throwing the ball so well.
I got Brady and Jalen Hurts. I got Brady and Hurts, and I can't play Hurts because Brady's Brady.
No, you can't trust it. You're riding with the GOAT.
Monday Night Football. Sorry, NFC North divisional play. I don't know how.
Why did they give the Bears 2 primetime games in a row?
Can't believe Nagy got 2 prime times in a row. They got the Vikings. You love Dalvin Cook this game. You love Justin Jefferson. Whichever is healthy. If Thielen's healthy, you like to play. But if not, go ahead. What up, KJ Osborne?
And then Kirk's probably a good play too, I think, this week.
Yeah. And for the Bears, you got Montgomery.
Darnell Mooney's really gone down.
Need to stretch in the flex spot, but I'm not loving the Mooney play. I know people have been, like I said, DeAndre Hopkins was a hurt. So Mooney could be your 4th receiver possibly. So I'm sorry. You might have to play him at the flex spot.
Right.
Sorry,
I do like Fields this week, though. I think he showed, a little bit something in that Green Bay game. They're definitely getting him, outside the pocket a little bit more, getting him involved with his legs. So I think Fields is a pretty good quarterback option. 2 quarterbacks for sure. Depending on your options, like Derek Carr or Justin Fields.
I think Derek Carr. Derek Carr's been more consistent. Is the only reason I say that. And I don't trust Coach in Chicago. That's really an issue for me. So the play selection can literally ruin that entire thing for you. And now you're sick on a Monday night when Justin Fields gave you 8 points.
Absolutely. I need a big Montgomery game. So hopefully he gets it and we see the Montgomery of 2020 that won people playoffs last year.
Man, cleats of the week this week. Got to wrap it up for these guys. We saw so many great ones, but got a little fan submission here.
Let's hear it. Well, I don't remember what Jalen had, but I found Josh Jacobs had a Virgil off-white Louis Vuitton shout-out cleats. So got to give him his credit there because those cleats were awesome. RIP Virgil. But yeah, Jalen Singleton, our boy, came out with some cleats of the week.
Yeah, it was the Minnesota Vikings, Kane Nuaga. I'm going to ruin that last name. My apologies. But he came out with the ASAN cleats, the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network cleats. Beautiful colors. Check them out. You know, great cause for the My Cause, My Cleats this week. Got to go with the fan submission winner.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, hey, if you're in the playoffs, congratulations. All you needed was a chance. And now's the time to make your money.
Yes, big money on the board here. Hopefully you guys have a great week. I hope no games get canceled for the COVID protocols and we get all the matchups in. And then best of luck to all the fantasy owners out there, man. Only 2 more weeks left.
Hopefully we'll see you next week in the semifinals.
But I'm finally here. Follow me here. Cause trust me, it's no time to be square. And if you really did trust me, then you would solemnly swear to pop a bottle for every banner that fly in the air.